My next guest has a unique perspective on this debate. As a doctor who's practiced for more than 30 years, he understands that every abortion involves two patients, the mother and the baby. He's fought for his friends across the aisle to recognize that fact since he entered Congress as a Maryland representative in 2010. A fierce advocate for the unborn, Dr. Harris also understands the importance of letting healthcare workers practice according to their religious and pro-life beliefs. Tonight, he's here to share why the First Amendment matters to the bill the House is voting on this week. Dr. Harris, welcome to Pray Vote Stand.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
You know, this is, as we've been talking about, a historic debate that we're now seeing a Democratic Party that wants to force all taxpayers into a partnership with Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry. Does it look like this measure is going to go forward without the Hyde protections attached?
Unfortunately, I think it will leave the House without the Hyde protections attached. We tried to put the Hyde protections back in committee. We were rejected. We thought that we were going to be allowed to try on the floor, where maybe a handful of Democrats could join us and put those protections in that a majority of Americans agree with, not spending taxpayer dollars to pay for abortion. But we were denied that. So literally, this 45-year-old protection against taxpayer dollars being used is not even going to get a debate on the floor during this bill.
You know, Dr. Harris, this is very personal to you, similar to my background. This was one of the issues that propelled you into the political arena, the issue of the sanctity of human life. It's one of the reasons you're sitting there today on Capitol Hill fighting for the unborn. That's what brought you to politics.
That's absolutely right. You know, I was an obstetric anesthesiologist, so I dealt with pregnant women giving birth. I've always was amazed at how someone could suggest that abortion is somehow not ending a human life and not worthy of protection. And when I first entered politics, it was while we were just having the partial birth abortion debate, that egregious procedure that really should be outlawed everywhere. And that's how I got into the politics back in the 1990s in Maryland. And ever since, I've been, fighting for life.
You know, Dr. Harris, when you look at what's happening, we step back from this debate. This is a very discouraging debate when you look at what has happened. You can't even argue on the floor of the House to put this barrier that's been there for almost 45 years between taxpayers and abortion. You can't even have that debate under the current regime that's on Capitol Hill. But when you step back, when you look at what's happening at the state level, historic level of pro-life laws passing the states. We've got the Supreme Court teed up to hear a case, the Dobbs case, which could potentially overturn Roe v. Wade or at least significantly restrict its reach. I mean, the pro-life movement is on the advance. It may not feel like it right now on Capitol Hill, but because of the faithfulness of pro-lifers across this country praying and working, we are very close. What would you say to folks that are watching tonight?
Tony, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's exactly the reason why they don't want a debate on the floor, because Americans watching the debate, again, as pro-life activity increases across the United States, as pro-life protections increase across the United States, they don't want that debate on the floor because they know the overwhelming majority of Americans don't want taxpayer dollars used for it. Just the indication that they don't want that debate means they know they're losing on the life debates right now.
Well, Dr. Harris, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, but I want to thank you for not growing weary in well-doing and continuing to lift up the voice of the voiceless and defend the unborn on Capitol Hill. I do think if we do not give up, if we do not give in, if we do not grow silent, we will ultimately prevail.
I agree, and I'll never give up on this fight.
All right, Dr. Harris, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.